Tony, you had a question?
Yes. So Bishop, when we were starting the synod, I was so happy that Pope Francis decided to put this synod on synodality, because the reality is there is a lot of division in our church, within the world and within the church itself. And I was able to actually help run the listening sessions with our parish. I was actually really shocked to see how much pushback, how much hardening of hearts there were. Basically, the mentality, if I had to sum it up in a sentence, is, well, why are we doing this now? Where were you when we needed you? And referring to a lot of the lockdown, the pandemic, and so forth. But my question to you is, in terms of like someone on a parishioner level, how can we practically build this new culture of listening? Speaking as someone like, I have a lot of social anxiety, and reaching out to people and starting off, doing this is uncomfortable. Like, what are practical things we can do to build this heart of trying to listen and reach out to one another as on a parishioner level?
Yeah, we just heard it this morning. That was one of the questions from someone at the tables. That some people were like a little discouraged because they went through a lot of listening sessions and putting, write some documents together, and they were wondering what's next after this. So what do we do now? And then this goes into the continental phase, and then into, the world, because this is really a worldwide process. But we just heard it from Dr. Ivory. We don't need to wait for the final document to come out, which would come up with a lot of ideas and reinforce and emphasize what we are already doing. But if you have social media and you have friends, you can reach out to them and bring these questions to them and say, who in this group is missing? Who in our community is not included? Who are those in the community of the parish that nobody thinks about? Like I know there are people from your parish in jail. Who goes to see them?
Right.
I know there are people from your parish in the hospital. Who goes to see them? Somebody the pastor's assigning only? Or can one young people like you in the parish go and say, Father, who from the parish is in the hospital? Can I just go and say, I came from my parish and I just wanted to say hello, I'm praying for you. Now that's synodality. You're walking with us all together, especially with those who are invisible or not included, and groups like that are many, in the church. I think the beauty of this process is that in the process we heal. Right, sister. You said it beautifully yesterday. In the process of listening, that's already healing. The process itself is designed to heal you, and even if you don't bring these people back into the church, they're thinking, because you went to them and say, you're brothers of ours. You're sisters of ours. You belong to us, regardless of the issues that we have. We're not perfect. But Jesus is, and he's with us. No. And we want to do better. I think it's a matter of taking it more personal and more seriously. And especially, and we all lament that there are a lot of young people leaving the church, or that the church has left them. Well, this is what we need to listen to. This is what we need to bring about. Where in the process we left them behind. Right? Because the world continues to evolve. Right. And the people who are 20 years old right now are not the people who, when I think of my nieces and nephews, just a very specific example. I'm very different from the time, from the time they are growing up and the time I grew up. Right. Totally different. I had no idea of computers, iPhones, none of that. Not social media, zero. No. Right. And these people are like so connected to so many people, even around the world. And I know there is a very strong influence from these people into our children.